A Silent Voice, also known as The Shape of Voice, changed me. This 2016 movie, directed by Nooko Yamada, based off the 2008 manga created by Yoshitoki Oima, was recommended to me when I was in a very dark point in my life, and the film deeply resonated with me, and provided me with the foundation of a whole different mindset that I carry with me to this day. Why did I, and so many others, according to IMDb, who scored this at an 8.2 out of a possible 10 stars, get so moved by this movie? What was so effective about it that resonated so deeply with so many? I think that it was due to the beautiful and uncanny representation of depression and anxiety that the animation delivers. However, that same animation is the very thing that draws away many potential viewers. In this video, I would like to dive into why animation is such a powerful and important medium to feel the true intensity of a story and its characters, and why a silent voice, in particular, could only be told through this medium effectively, a way that live action could never do justice to. For those of you that have the opportunity, I highly urge you to click off from this video now and experience the movie blindly before continuing. I have introduced it to many of the people who are closest to me, and all of them have felt deeply moved afterward. This is a story that will make you cry. In this video, I will be covering a lot of the most impactful scenes that discuss how the animation adds so much weight to an already deeply gut-wrenching situation. To keep the full weight of these moments, I recommend watching with no knowledge of them. Secondly, I cannot explain the whole story or give you the satisfaction of the wonderful pacing and all-around spectacular work from everyone involved on this project. So, for the last time, I urge you to watch this film on your own. For the rest of the video, I will continue now. Starting with a content warning. A Silent Voice contains strong themes of mental health struggles, including suicidal idolizations and attempts. Both things will be addressed in this video as well. If that is something that you do not wish to watch, I recommend stopping watching this video now. I'd like to begin by addressing the perception that many people have about animation and anime. Many are put off by the medium, claiming that it's an industry only meant for kids. This couldn't be further from the truth. The first feature-length adult cartoon debuted in 1972, titled Fritz the Cat, a movie that garnered itself an X rating. Director Ralph Bakshi and character creator Robert Crumb produced a story about Fritz, a college-aged cat who dabbles in drugs, radical politics, and hedonism, as he goes on a cross-country adventure. At least, that's how Amazon Prime describes it. While Fritz the Cat received mixed reviews at the time, or even now, it was a start to something big. In years to come, movies like Akira, Ghost in Shell, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and Isle of Dogs would be created and garner huge fan bases with adult audiences. Up until this point, and even to this day, there has been a common misconception that animation is for kids. This outlook, whether you hear it from your sister, your father, or just a friend from school, dismisses the genre for many people. The blog Siobahan of the Dead comments, "Cartoon is somewhat of a dirty word. It completely devalues the film, automatically giving it a lower standard than live action." But why? I would probably put this down to the history of animation, how it's developed from being a new, cutting-edge method of storytelling to caricatures and cartoon shows for children, with the likes of Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. For a long time, many adult media consumers were turned off from the idea of watching something animated for this reason. This changed after shows like King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, and The Simpsons, Family Guy, Archer, and Bob's Burgers gained huge popularity. While this shifted the climate for adult viewers to include animation in what they watch, it was not in a serious light. All these shows I just mentioned you've likely heard of before, but many of the others I've mentioned previously you may not have. The difference is that animated comedies are given more room to shine in modern media than any other animated genre. Since the stereotype was starting to break that animation had to be inherently meant for kids, it granted some room for adult audiences to explore different genres of animation, especially in Asian media. Japan boasts the largest animation industry in Asia, valued at approximately 18 billion, which is reported by VideoCo in a 2025 article. Movies like Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, and Paprika have become widely known and adored internationally. In this time of animation becoming more accepted is when A Silent Voice stepped out and released itself to the world. The story of A Silent Voice follows Shoya Ishida, a young man suffering from depression. In his childhood, him and his friends endlessly teased their deaf classmate Shoko Yashimada. The bullying continues until Shoko has to transfer schools for her own safety. Following this, Shoya never forgives himself for what he has done, and his classmates ostracize him for his past behavior. This movie opens with him preparing all his assets so that he can jump to his death on the 15th of April. Now let's take a break from the plot for a moment to explore how organically the movie displays the depression and anxiety Shoya holds in his day-to-day life. The most notable of these is the whole X's plastered over the faces of Shoya's classmates. The National Library of Medicine reports that in clinical studies, it has been observed that patients suffering from depression make less eye contact during interviews than healthy individuals. Longitudinal studies based off interviews and hospital ward observations showed that eye contact increases with the improvement of depressive state. Shoya's discomfort with making eye contact is displayed not only in the X's over the faces, but also the framing of the shots. Many of the shots, especially earlier in the movie, display characters from the neck down, completely removing the head from the shot. I believe that this was fully intentional. Through these shots and the slow inclusions of ones that include characters on Block's head later on in the movie, we can subtly grasp how the friendships that Shoya has made are benefiting him and bringing him out of his shell. The direction of this movie takes a very show-don't-tell stance, and they execute it flawlessly. Why can this only be executed in animation, though? Well, the simple answer is that these same framing positions may seem odd to a regular viewer. I'm going to show a brief segment from the movie where the shot is included and then recreate it in real life and display the videos alongside each other.
Hey, Shoya.
Oh, Miki.
Have you had a chance to hand in your math notebook yet?
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. Just try to hand it in soon, all right?
Sorry.
No problem.
While both these shots do the exact same thing, the live-action version stands out of place in comparison to the other video casting physical actors. And while this could pass off as normal cinematography in some cases, the X's do not. They are only considered acceptable without breaking immersion because it is implied that they do not physically exist. Our brains don't have to compete with themselves to take a scene serious, as an X is taped over or CGI'd onto an actor's face. Also, it is important to note that the X's are only possible via animation. No one can hold an X in front of an actor's face. It must be added into the frames in post. Even if a live-action approach was taken, animation would still have to be incorporated to get the movie's and manga's most standout feature. Animation must be incorporated in some way. You can't have a Green Lantern movie without displaying his green powers or the ring. Otherwise, it's just some average guy. So why would we strip a silent voice of the mental health depiction that makes it stand out from just being any other sad story? The X's and framing are integral to what a silent voice is. The story is told through its visuals, and every shot is intentionally crafted to make you feel a certain way. Another trick that the animators and directors include is to add a deeper messaging in how we view Shoko's past. These memories are displayed in a bright hue. At first, this can be interpreted as being a better time, but the longer we watch, we come to find that these are very painful memories for Shoya to look at. I believe that the brightness is meant to make it harder for viewers to watch these scenes. It is meant to give discomfort that these shots are so bright that they can be hard to look at. Exactly how Shoya feels. During depression, negative thoughts and feelings of sadness may become all-encompassing and end up coloring every aspect of people's lives, past as well as present. Thinking about negative events causes heightened levels of distress and negative emotions during depression. This heightens salience of negative past events and difficulties dealing with these memories, as reported in a Psychology Today article from 2021. The director wants us to feel that discomfort, and does so through the high brightness that can be difficult to look at. These tricks are also used in the moments leading up to the movie's most pivotal scene. All the directing and animating tricks that I have mentioned thus far have shown up far less frequently up until this point, until the fireworks show. We have seen that Shoya is doing better, and even though he has some setbacks in his social life, he continues to regularly meet up with Shoko and her sister. However, in this scene, the faces aren't shown as much, and the framing only shows Shoya or Shoko, despite them sitting next to each other, with no one else around, creating a feeling of loneliness even in this shared moment. This is a subtle choice that I believe was not intended to show how Shoya was feeling, but instead the feelings of another character.
Man, it's so dark. Hey, Shoko, you here? It's me, Shoya. There it is. I should make sure it's fully charged. Huh. You can see the fireworks from here. Huh, so that's where she is. What is she? Hey, wait a second. What is she doing? Hey, Shoko? Shoko? Don't do it! Please, no. Shoko!
All the signs were presented to us, but we were so busy focusing on Shoya's situation that we forgot to consider Shoko. In the moments before and immediately after her attempt, the screen is blurred. The screen is bright, and the world is nearly silent, aside from the music that draws you into the moment. This moment is hard to experience. You can see that in all of the framing. A live-action movie could not pull off this scene with the same amount of emotion. The frantic panicking that totally controls Shoya in that moment is captured through smear frames, flashing bright frames from the fireworks, making it hard to look at, and the visible tears pooling down Shoya's face. And the way that the curtains fall slowly down. All of these subtle things add so much to the movie and can only be accomplished through animation. To wrap this up, the final example that I want to call attention to is the final scene, where Shoya finally reaches a point where he no longer needs the X's. The screen widens as we watch as the cast displays before him in rays of hope for the future. We can now see everyone in frame and can feel the happiness of it after all the hard work Shoya has done to get to this point. A Silent Voice shows this in a way that is unconventional to the way of camera live performances. I feel that adult animation has come a long way, and A Silent Voice is a pivotal example of what animation can accomplish when we give it the room to be something more than just for kids or laughs. This story is filled with raw emotion in every frame it displays to its viewers. Everything is entirely controlled to create the exact feeling intended with the story. This is highly important when depicting depression and anxiety in a relatable and accurate way. No visible lighting or character movement is out of place with the original vision. This is a story straight from the soul, and every single line and color throughout the panels tells a story that has deeply connected to many, including myself, because of the hard work and care that was put into these details. Animation is a powerful tool, and far more than just for kids. A Silent Voice was meant to be told in that medium, and any other format would muddy something masterful. When we give animation the room to fully tell the stories that they have meticulously crafted and don't demote its importance to nothing more than a joke, then we are granted the opportunity to be deeply moved by a piece of art oozing with love, care, and passion. To dismiss that form of expression is to limit yourself from experiencing something truly beautiful, and possibly could even change your outlook on life.